Yeah, no problem.
Merry Christmas to me.
Merry Christmas to you one day.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. John was working on some technical stuff. He'll have that hopefully resolved next week. But
I live in technical stuff.
yeah, that is John's forte. Good show tonight. Looking forward to a lot of things on there, as you see over there on your right. We got we're going to start off with some viewer comments. So I know a lot of you guys don't have the ability to watch live. So we're going to read some comments, even the hate, and let these guys react to it.
We have not seen these before.
Yeah, Roman Smack Talk. Cover some Roman talk. Might have a special guest. Tickets before rules. So
is Roman coming on the podcast?
We'll find out. Somebody special might be coming on. The CrossFit Games tickets are coming out in January, so we'll talk about the implications of that. We have a new feature, blind rankings. So that one I think you guys will be pretty excited for. And then we'll finish off with the competition playbook. Before we get into viewer comments, if you head over to my Instagram page, there is something that you guys might appreciate. So the ESC Sounds worked with Harry over there. If you want to win or get an opportunity to win an ESC Sounds mini speaker, head over to Instagram. It's the last post I did. You can go ahead and enter. Just follow ESC Sounds on Instagram, like my post, and tag a friend in the comments section. So
I have to talk about this. I'll give help in this one. This is hilarious.
Oh, he tagged you in it?
He tagged me, but I blocked him, so I'll never fucking know. Well done. Yeah. Well played.
When we read the comments, I think we're gonna. John, our special guest is here.
Oh, it's Pedro. What's up, man?
It's Roman. Oh, wait.
I almost did a Russian accent.
He's the guy who hates on everybody.
It's 12:30. 30. Sorry.
12:30.
12:30.
Good deal. Well, thanks for joining, Pedro.
Thank you for joining us, man.
Do you like my festive decor?
I do.
That's very nice. It's very nice. Do you guys celebrate Christmas in Ireland? We're not very good at the global sports side of things.
Yeah, we don't do Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is like nothing. And then Christmas is like blow the fucking doors off.
I thought it was just St. Patrick's Day. I don't know.
That's barely a blip on our radar, to be honest.
All right. Viewer comments. All right, guys. From last week. We'll start out with the good one. Great show, boys. This is weekly required watching now. Great work, John Yeung.
Thanks, man. Who is that?
That was from John's mom. 100%.
Are you only going to read out?
That is from Chris Giles in Australia.
Thanks.
Are you only going to read out sarcastic ones, or are you going to read out genuine ones too?
So this next one, Kathy Stan 4379. OMG, you guys have no idea about any athletes that aren't American.
Listen, 100%. I'm trying, Kathy. I'm trying.
I told you last week, you need to move to the States or we don't care. Sorry.
I disagree with that statement altogether. But
if you ain't first, you're last. Get out.
Andy Murray is Scottish. So fun fact of the day. He is Scottish.
He comes from my homeland.
He was at Dubai, Pedro. Did you know that? He went to the Dubai Fitness Championship.
Oh, he was the fan that was there.
He was. Yeah. Yeah. He was there. It made it all worth it. So that was very exciting.
It was nice for them to have an audience.
Yeah. Nathan Wilson, 6324. These are my favorite shows. So maybe we might have Shit Canyon coming on here soon too. Unhinged John Yeung is the best. Even though they are similar in the last few years, I think Annika has a much better shot of making the games at some point than Tyler or Jake, since she's so much younger.
Oh, Tyler,
I want to clarify this really quick because a certain friendly person brought this to my attention. If you catch my drift, I do not count Tyler Christopher making the 2020 online CrossFit Games as him being in the CrossFit Games. Okay, that 2020 year, I think about the top 5 people that went to the ranch. Those people did the games. Everybody else, you don't exist in that year. Okay, that is my personal opinion.
I thought you were going to backpedal, and he just dove deeper into it.
Absolutely not.
What about 2019? If you finished 187th, do you still count?
I don't count anybody except the top 1 from 2019. That's the only one that I count. I kind of count Noah, but not really.
Man, just a hater.
Yeah, if you want to call me a hater, you can, but that's absolutely facts. You just don't want to agree with it.
Matt McQuinn enjoyed watching John eat some waffles the first second of the show, so keep that up.
No waffles.
The Daddy Mac 21. I don't know if that's Ricky. I don't know. Spin. We need a garage gym tour. Great stuff, boys. So we might do that here soon. I might have to do something to show you my gym. If you look behind you, that's
Pedro.
Pedro's garage gym is right there.
Do you have a good garage gym?
Is my camera like flickering? Can you see that, or is that just me?
That's just you.
Oh, okay.
You're just very pale right now.
Yeah, this is my garage.
Oh, it is doing that. It's
you decorate your garage?
No, I just put that wreath up because I was coming on here. I just like that'd be funny.
Festive.
It's supposed to be hanging on our front door, but it keeps falling off, so I'm fucking giving up on it. Bad humbug. Did you see Matt? Sorry, go on.
Go ahead. Nope.
Did you see Matt Welty's comment at the live chat? Dubai had an event called Seoul DXB, which is the city's biggest cultural event all year. I think Comic-Con with a concert the same weekend as Dubai. Unless that's been on every year since the Dubai Fitness Championship started, that comment is a misnomer.
Every year they just plan it at the worst time, man.
Yeah.
The worst time.
Well, I mean, the live stream probably definitely hurts it. They've been live streaming for years, so I could see that happening as well. Let's see. Anything else? Luka Vunjek is a good shout. Dan 8712. He's finally invested in himself and got a coach and a good group around him in the program. So I expect him to make a leap. Just look at what happened with Moritz when he started working with them. Pedro, you're our European correspondent. Vunjek.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He hasn't shown his best yet, I wouldn't say, but he's good. He's got a bit of a touch the Djukic is about him. You know, it could touch that like willing
he's very
to go
fit.
dark.
He's just got major weaknesses.
He's willing to go dark, which is always.
Is he rookie hill worthy though?
That's what's important.
No, I don't think he'll make it to the games this year.
Thank you for reinforcing that. Real quick.
Yep.
I just want to say I appreciated Chon Yeung much better than Young Jay. I don't know if we're gonna just try to hit every race there is, but do y'all know? Is this one of us?
One
like
of
at
us.
least
I don't know who us is, but
it's in the locker room thread.
It
It's
never
not.
is.
It's somebody else. It's not somebody in
I
the
know
locker
who
room
it
thread.
is, and it's not them. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
one of our own.
Oh, you know who it is? Who is it? You?
He's from down south.
All right. Well, this one's
Way
my
down
least favorite.
south.
My least favorite. My least favorite version.
It's my favorite version.
I told
Which
you
one?
that 2011 Halloween picture will come back to haunt you, and
Dude,
this guy is
Hiller thought you were 100% serious, by the way. You said that, and he just took it. He was like, I guess John knew Pedro way back then.
He had also like
took it.
he had also dry huffed like 300 milligrams of caffeine. Like he wasn't thinking straight.
that was a good show this afternoon there, Pedro.
Thank you.
They're getting better and better, smoother and smoother.
I want to know how you manage the back end doing the timer.
Not well. I need to make things closer. Like I need to make the timer stop button and the mute button closer. Like one is this side of the screen and one is this side. So if I see it coming down to like 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and I'm like, shit, do I stop the timer or do I go over and mute? And I always go over to mute, but then they stop talking anyway, so I have to go back over and stop. It's too clunky. It's too clunky.
Maybe ask Chon, or maybe Rambler might help. Rambler's definitely he could be on
I feel like
available.
if Rambler was on the back end, I feel like the clock would be stopping and starting every 5. Like it'd just be constant. It'd be like a rave. Just so much clicking and typing, and yeah.
Actually, Rambler's not available. He's too busy commenting.
True.
That's a very good point. All right. So yeah, if you're not watching live, throw out some viewer comments down in the comments below, and we'll get to them next week. Very excited to have Pedro on, especially because of some Roman smack talk. Pedro, you kind of broke the news this week. I didn't realize you were such into Russian podcasts, but
Yeah, how did you find that? Can you walk us through how you found that?
What I do in my spare time might come as a surprise. Between listening to Russian podcasts and my crocheting habits. No,
Hey,
someone.
my wife loves the crochet. Do not talk down on crochet. Okay, it's her old mom habit. She loves it.
Well, I'll send her a Russian language podcast on crochet patterns, and she can listen to that too.
She'll eat it up.
She Russian speaking listener of the podcast sent me a message and said, "Hey, have you heard this?" and sent me a clip, and I watched the clip and I was like, "Is this real?" Or because it was pre-dubbed, and I was like, "Is this real or not?" And then I was like, fucking hell, is this real? I was like, what? So I was messaging her back and forth, asking, like, I was just kind of verifying.
This is Rosa, right?
I'll get to her, don't worry. But I was like, is this, I spent a few hours chatting to her, kind of being like, is this genuine? Is this like, how sure are you that it's genuine? Like, what level of certainty are you? Like, what level of accuracy do you think there is? And that kind of stuff. She sent me the program that she used. She said she sent me, like, I think 2 clips. Said these are the most, like, salacious or the most, like, fucking hell moments. But she said that she had watched the whole podcast and those bits stood out. So I was like, all right, well, she obviously speaks the language, because how could she have done that? Like, plus her name and just like general, like, conversing pattern or whatever. So she sent me 2 clips. I watched them. I was like, fuck this. There's, like, I'm not sure this is real or not. And then I sent them into the thread, and then Spin, you said, like, oh, like, where's the full link? Send it to you. And then you did nothing with it for like a day. And then, so I was messaging her.
I was still trying to translate it.
I was messaging her throughout, just basically verifying and re-verifying. Like, are you sure? Like, how sure are you? Like, what? So then I was like, fuck it, I'll post one. So I posted one, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll post 3. So I just posted them all. I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm really confident.
Was that before? Did you post before or after I went through the
like
YouTube
immediately after? So you went through the YouTube translation, and it was like, it was like looking at a Rubik's Cube that had fallen apart and melted and trying to put it back together, because it was so broken. Like,
it's
the English
very
was so bad.
It's a very literal, I think, way of translating. Whereas what you got was,
your version had no nuance to it. It had no, like, it didn't try and interpret what words meant. It just literally said, he said this, this, and this. Whereas the one that the AI program took into account context, tone of voice, like, it changed things to, like, it gave an action, like, as if it's an English person talking to you, rather than typing a word into Google Translate, and it just kind of spits back out the same words in the wrong order or whatever.
The fact that it was in his voice was absolutely insane. Like, I boggled over that forever.
It's crazy.
It's funny. You sent that in the chat, and I was like, oh dang! I mean, he's coming out hot. And then I sent the Medeiros Vellner one to my dad, because we both like Roman a lot, and I was like, you heard it here first, man. He's a Terminator, and they're not there. They're nothing. And I thought I was sending him something that would never see the light of day. And then you immediately post all 3 of them, like, stuff I did not send him, right? And And it's fun if you think you have something like behind the scenes, no pun intended. But then you posted all of them, and I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna light a storm.
But like, so the thing is, look, we'll get into what he said, and we'll get into the value in what he said, or the worth of what he said. So I put them up. I left them up. There was a lot of comments on it. I went to bed. I woke up the next day. I went to work, came home, barrage of comments. And I saw like one of the comments was like Rosa, I don't know how to say her surname, Giles, whatever. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because suddenly all my confidence in the fact that it was verified and the fact that it was accurate just like shot out my asshole through my intestines, just gone. I was like, they're all wrong. Because so she was commenting consistently. I think I counted 18 comments. I kept screenshots. 18 comments saying bad translation, bad. This is so unprofessional. You should hire a translator. Like, these are all separate comments. So bad, like bad capital letters. Then replying to other people's comments who said like, geez, this is a bit much. Oh, it's not a bit much. He didn't say any of it. It's not accurate. This is a bad translation. You should never use AI, all over and over again. So I sent her the full podcast episode, and she had commented saying, I will translate this whole thing. So I replied to her comment and said, I've sent you the whole episode. She never even opened the message. So 24 hours go past, and I was like,
how close were you to taking down your post? Was that ever a thought that entered your head?
No. So
Meanwhile, there's another dude though. There's another dude right after Rosa being like, "No, it's good, girl. I know Russian." Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah. Like, so, what this random guy who knows Russian?
I'm really bummed if we get new mics because that won't happen anymore.
So she said that. I replied to one of her comments, and I was like, if you can show me that anything is wrong, I will come out, I will apologize, I will message Roman, I will remove them, I will explain that I was wrong. Like, no problem. And that was my stance from the start. Going to bed that night, actually, I got a message from someone at Mayhem. So someone at Mayhem commented on the post and said, it's a major L to use AI to translate, basically just calling it bullshit. Then remove the comment. And I was like, no, fuck that. So I messaged them and said, why is it a major L? Like, what's wrong with it? Like, tell me what the mistake is. And they messaged back, and we messaged back and forth for a while. They're really nice, like genuine, trying to protect a Mayhem athlete. Rosa was trying to protect Roman. Like, doesn't make sense. But anyway, it was a misguided attempt at protection. And basically it came back then, this person I was talking to was like, if I'm wrong, like, I'm willing to be wrong on this. I'm not saying like nail me to the cross, this is definite, but I'm just wary of the translation you've used. I was like, yeah, fine. And I said, again, I'll come out and apologize, I'll take them all down, whatever. So then 24 hours go past, nothing from Rosa. And all this time I was thinking, if the only example I could think of was Thibaut, right, from GoWat, who I'm friends with, and speaks French. And I kind of, like, I don't really speak French, but like I could vaguely get by, like really vaguely get by. But he's the example I'm using. So if he did an interview, and if Savan took that interview, not that he would, but if he took that interview and translated it and put it out and was like sledging him, and I knew that there was something wrong with it, seconds is all it would take for me to clarify it. To, like, I put up a story, a post, I'd ask Savan, can I go on your show? I'd go on anyone that would have me to explain what was wrong immediately.
And say, this is what he really said. This is what this person's put up.
Here's what's wrong with it. If this is wrong with this one, imagine what's wrong with the other ones. This guy has an obligation to take this down. It's not correct. Immediately, within an hour, I'd have that done. Like, I'd have been on 2 podcasts. I'd have been live on Instagram, live on YouTube, sorting it all out. Nothing happened. All she did was comment that it was all bad. Never clarified one single thing and never cleared anything up, despite multiple people saying, but what's wrong with it? Oh, it's wrong. It's bad. Okay, but what's wrong with it? Nothing, just disappeared. 24 hours later, I message her and I say, hey, you called me unprofessional and you said that I was wrong. Can you just like explain how I was wrong and what I did that was unprofessional? Because I'd really like to get this cleared up. I don't want to drag Roman's name through the mud if I'm wrong. If I'm right, great, but I need to know. So she said, oh, I'm working hard on it. I'm going to work on it hard right now. And in the next hour, I'll have the translations to you. And I said, it is less than 2.5 minutes worth of content. How can it, that'll be 28 hours. How can it take you 28 hours to do less than 2.5 of something that's so bad and needs to be cleared up so quickly? So straight away, I was like, bullshit. This is accurate. She knows it's accurate. She's trying to put out fires. She's trying to think of a way to spin it, pardon the pun, to get away with what she's doing, like to kind of hide the truth and to keep his image clear. This is all in her head. I don't actually think it's that bad. But this is
for the record, it's not even that.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all. He's just talking trash at the most.
It's just, hang on. We'll get to what he's talking about in a minute. I just want to finish my story and then we can just talk about the actual content of what he said. So she said, sorry if that was rude, John. I'm not really that sorry. She said, she was like, oh, I'll do it, whatever, blah, blah. And then she apologized and she was like, oh, I've just had this like anti-Russian view growing up, like people misrepresenting, blah, blah. Like it's just, I got so angry. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, fair play. Like she's actually apologizing. I was like, she's doing it privately, which is pretty annoying because she fucking publicly attacked me over it. Like, but okay, whatever. And then she said, but it is unprofessional what you did. And I said, what's unprofessional? And she said, using AI is unprofessional. And I was like, but why is it unprofessional? Like, explain to me why. If it's wrong, it's unprofessional. If it's correct, it is not unprofessional. And then we argued for a while. And I said, unprofessional is taking what someone says and changing it. Professional is sharing word for word what someone said. I do one thing, you do the other. And she said, we disagree on what professional is. And I said, we fucking certainly disagree on what professional is. More time goes past. And then eventually she sends me screenshots. She's typed out on a Word document, like the 3 clips that I shared. Note, she hasn't fucking gone near Hiller's video because she's obviously fucking terrified of him. So she hasn't gone near anything he said. But anyway, she typed out word for word. Nothing is fucking different in the translation that she has and the translation that I have. The only thing that's changed is the Brute clip was the one where she was like, Hiller said, oh, shots at Brute, shot fires at Brute. And she replied to that comment and said, no, it's totally bad translation. She did not change a fucking word in that whole transcript. Not one comma was different from the text that I had in the thing. And she never went back and cleared it up because she's a chicken shit. Then she sent me the Lazar one, and she did change something in the Lazar one, but the only thing she changed were in parentheses, as you guys call them, like brackets, which means he didn't actually say it.
What do you call them?
Brackets, which means he didn't actually say it. It's her interpretation. We could have got
by you saying brackets, man. You didn't have to go on that 10
I didn't want Tyler being like, ooh, brackets, I need to sort out my new fantasy, whatever.
I still can't. I don't even know what you're saying. The accent's too hard. I'm sorry.
Sorry. So she said that she added some stuff in brackets, in parentheses, and it was like, so he says, the first thing he says, maybe the best line of everything that he said was, Lazar is different. Either Lazar beats you or you crush him. He beats himself. So that's what he said in the clip. And that's a fucking amazing quote. Like, accurate, not accurate, who gives a fuck? It's an amazing line. That will go down in annals of history of CrossFit if that's clipped. And she changed it to, now you tell me what you think she's doing here. She changed it to, Lazar is different. Either you beat him, brackets, by a lot, or he beats you, brackets, by a lot, and you walk away. So which do you think is more accurate? Do you think Roman, in a casual, relaxed setting, talking to someone who appears to be a friend, sitting on his floor, laughing and joking and stuff, is going to say, yeah, Lazar's easy, like Lazar's different. Either he beats you in a workout or you crush him and he beats himself? Or do you think it's Lazar's different, you beat him, by a lot, or he beats you by a lot, and you walk away. Like, which of those two is more fucking likely to be said in that setting? So she changed what he said. She like, that is not, and even if you listen to the recording, she has it word for word the same. He beats you by a lot, or you beat him by a lot. So then why is he not saying the same fucking words in Russian in the clip then? If he's saying the same words in English, why are the words that he says in his own language not the same in the clip? Because surely they would be the same, apart from the gender or the person involved, the subject or whatever would be different.
But you
like
don't
me
know,
versus
how
him.
Russian works.
You don't know Roman, Pedro. You don't know what he meant. You have to live with him and
Anyway,
know what he means.
Absolute.
I hear her
fucking
say
horseshit.
that. I hear her comment
the
that.
worst.
You have
The
to
worst
know
thing,
him.
and the worst thing, and this is totally accidentally uncovered throughout all of this. The worst thing about all of this is she has been portrayed as his translator. She's his fucking agent. So she's sitting down in conversations. He's like portrayed as this guy who can't speak English, can't get by without a translator on the field handing him food at the end of every workout, can't get by with, like, he gets special treatment and special dispensation. Fair play to him. If any athlete could do it, they would do it. But he has all these extra like bits. He has this extra time. He can easily just turn down any media interview. Anyone can, but they'll be judged for it harsher than he would for turning down coming on a show or going on an interview or never doing whatever, like avoiding cameras and all that kind of stuff. But he has this excuse of, I need a translator. But it's like, if he talks for 5 minutes, like if John talked to me for 5 minutes, and I know it's not my job, but if John talked to me for 5 minutes and I had to turn around and tell Tyler everything he said, I'm going to forget something at the start, or I'm going to just be listening to him being like, all right, I'll just summarize this in my own way. And I think that's what's been happening. Because she's his agent, she has a vested interest in him having a certain image. So that's what she's doing. He goes on Savan, and she goes on too, and says, here's what he said. And it's like, is it? Now it's like, I doubt everything that's ever been put out from him. Is it actually him, or is this actually him? Is this the version of Roman that I'm seeing now that I actually really fucking like? Is this who Roman actually is, and is this what he should be like when he's talking? And has she been filtering what he says and cleaning it up and like neatening up the edges a little bit just to make him a little bit more clean cut, a little bit more like, all I care about is family, this, that, and the other. Whereas in reality, he's like, I'm gonna fucking crush Lazar, which is a great line. And I just think that was an accidental thing that I stumbled upon, that I was like, that fucking changes everything. No wonder she's going apeshit in my comments, because she thinks that her cash cow is like going to be devalued by this, when in actual fact it's the fucking opposite.
And I don't think criticizing Medeiros, criticizing Adler, Vellner, that's one thing, right? Like, that's straight up trash talk against your competitors.
And who cares? Like, that's fine.
But then when you start talking about Lazar and Guy
was the one that I was like,
he's the big one. But I mean, people have said that behind closed doors.
But it's one thing
before.
But when you're a mayhem athlete with that, that's where it becomes the problem, where I see it, right? Like,
you got to go to dinner tomorrow with everybody.
It's it's one thing to smack talk your competitors, but these are your like.
I don't think that was smack talk. I think he was. I mean, let's go into what he said now. I was like, we'll talk, because we're going to analyze it. Are we not?
Yeah.
Just one more thing. So Lauren talked about it on Death by today, and at the end of the show, they talked about it, and she said, what do you think about what Roman said? Or say, Keith brought it up, and she said, what do you think about that? And she said, because I mean, how do we know how accurate the translations were? And that's the thing that's fucking annoying me about all of this, is that I have been accused of being unprofessional and of like lying and of changing the truth and twisting the truth and like duping people into believing this false thing that isn't actually true. Whereas what I'm actually doing is telling the truth. But all she had to do, now there's still people commenting, or still people, like there's people in the chat now being like, but maybe language is different, but it's like, no, like he said what he said. Like, you can change the line, you beat but Lazar beats you or you crush him. You can say that 10 different ways in 10 different tones with 10 different facial expressions. It's the same fucking words. Like, it doesn't matter if you say it like laughing or angry. You're still saying you're going to crush him, and you're saying it either with swagger or arrogance or anger. But you're still saying it.
And that's what happened at Dubai.
Yeah,
like the last day, Roman held on to him and Ricky. Right, they kind of were neck and neck. The only reason that either of them lost to Roman, especially Lazar, is he had some bad performances. Whereas Roman never got crushed by Lazar.
And then he even talks good about Lazar at Dubai. Like, after saying that, he said Lazar was unlucky. Lazar was better than Ricky at that competition. Like, he's giving him props after that.
I mean, we can dig into what he said, but
even she also said that
ruthless. Go ahead.
She also said that you have like, oh, well, it's a 2-hour interview and you're taking a clip, and this would never happen to an American athlete. And it's like, have you fucking seen anything we've done for the last 18 months? This is all we do. We take athletes, like vlogs, their interviews, their performances. We pick them apart piece by piece. What do you think he meant by this? What do you think she meant by that? That's Savann's whole Friday night show. It's like, well, you'd never do this to an...
I mean, I had people messaging me saying, are you going to commit suicide because of Pedro's fake news comment? And I wasn't complaining about it.
The clips were rather long. Like, it would be hard to miss context in a clip that long. They're not.
It wasn't one sentence.
They're not
They're
short.
4 minutes.
Yeah, and they were non-cut. Like, they were cut straight. The block that we had was the block that exists. So it just, I don't know. Like, what words are there? There's disinformation. There's misinformation, and you're getting what she did was she labeled you as not either one of those, but potentially misleading information. And it's like, that's not very fair.
She basically launched propaganda in the comments, like saying that this is a lie. This is all false.
I was talking about Lauren.
Oh, sorry.
Lauren perpetuated that. And it's like, that's not fair. And the amount that like people fucking rave over how great AI is and all that AI can do. And then it's like the moment we hear something that we don't like, it's like, well, that can't be trusted.
No. It's the moment. It's the moment our agent hears something that we don't like.
What was it? 3 weeks ago, Lauren said that AI should be in charge of all the judging for the Open, and now she's saying it can't translate from Russian to English. Fucking bullshit.
All right, let's play the clips.
Pedro doesn't keep score or anything like that. He doesn't hold grudges.
Here we go.
And they'll just gradually they'll replace us later, but they don't break in all of a sudden like that. Medeiros came charging in, and I think that's only because he just got lucky with how everything played out, kind of. See, I'm here now. It's not that easy for him. Ricky came back. I'm here, and it's not so easy. And that's it. The next year we'll lose him altogether.
Well, he said that he was injured at the time.
I mean, obviously, everybody's kind of injured.
This is
it's
a great
like we're
line.
all so fucking healthy out there. Vellner, yeah, he was on the podium, then he got lost again. Now he's back again. Same thing. I wouldn't count on him either. He'll be there today, but I can tell you with a 100% guarantee that he won't be on the podium next year. Add swimming, add more running, some bikes, and that's it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Adler, about Adler too. He might not be there either. Ricky will qualify, Medeiros will come back, and that's it. You know, add in swimming, you know, some other things. Other movements that aren't so classic, and we'll lose him too. The younger ones come in, and they'll just gradually, they'll replace us later, but they don't break in all of a sudden like that.
Again. That's a good soundbite. Like,
Yeah.
He just sounds like a ruthless competitor.
I could not agree more with Vellner. Adler, I think he's going to be in for a rude awakening. But it's
could not agree more with Vellner.
Yeah.
You fucking dick.
You want me to explain?
John is Vellner's #1 fan. So
what are you saying? Because he's saying he's not going to be on the podium.
Would you like
John.
me to explain, Tyler?
Yes, I would.
Or Pedro.
Explain to me how it is 100% guaranteed that Vellner will not be on the podium next year.
It's not 100% guaranteed, but I don't think he will be either.
You just said you agree with him, and that's what he said.
No, I agree with Roman. Okay. When I make my predictions, Vellner's not going to be in the podium.
Pedro, it makes more sense
Okay.
if he says it in Russian.
Reason being, do you think Roman is fitter than Vellner?
Well, not based off.
Straight up. Come on, right now. Right here. I don't care what recent is. Right now, do you think Roman is fitter than Vellner? I don't care what he did before. They go right now. You don't?
No.
You're wrong. He is.
Okay.
Straight up.
Prove it.
Wrong.
Prove it.
Yeah, he will in the games next year.
Have you seen
you're
the
saying
mountain?
right now. Hang on.
Have you
You're saying
seen the
right
mountain?
now, and you're saying that I'm wrong. So prove it right now that he's fitter than him. Not in the games. Prove it right now. You said I'm wrong, so prove how you're right. The onus of proof is on you.
Okay.
You don't get this game. You don't understand, Pedro.
I promise you, in the 2024 CrossFit Games, Roman is fitter than Vellner.
Yeah, that's fine. But the correct response there, to my opinion, is to say, okay, we'll see. Not you're wrong.
No, I'm letting you know that you are wrong about your statement. And then if you're right, then it's even more of a wrongness on me because I'm that confident about it. But like what he said is right. There was no swimming at the games. There wasn't a ton of running other than a 5K.
There won't be swimming at the games this year either. Okay,
I bet they're in a pool.
$50 says Vellner podiums in 2024.
Bet. You already owe me 50,
Okay.
so this is even for me.
What do I owe you 50 for?
We bet it the Mort's fee big. I said he was bottom whatever, and you said he was top 10.
I never gave you anything for that. Sorry.
I know,
Okay.
so double or nothing.
We'll go
We're
to
fine.
double bits,
Money.
Okay, Tyler owes me like $400, so it's you're fine. I think Roman and Ricky are 1 and 2, and then I think Adler will be right there with them. And I think those 3 are fitter than Vellner with a full test, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And then what he said about Justin, I kind of agree with that too. I don't think he got lucky, but
Yeah,
I think
right.
I do think he's the fittest man. But I think he got lucky with his time frame of being
The timing
there.
was lucky.
Oh yeah, his time frame of being there was lucky, is what I'm saying. But he was the fittest man in the world at that time. I don't take anything away from him, but I think Roman and Ricky are a cut above everybody, and I think Adler is there. I think Adler, those 3 are a cut above everybody.
Okay.
And so, and he thinks so too. All I'm saying is, I don't disagree with him.
But I don't think
I took up for Vellner forever, Pedro. He has never came through.
This is Yeung. John's
he
going to
has
play this whole
never came through. Okay.
Yeah, so you're just angry at Vellner. That's okay, but just say that. I think as well that regardless, so like, okay, there's a few things here. If you agree with Roman, so say like John agrees with Roman, I disagree with Roman. Either way, he doesn't say anything egregious. He doesn't say anything damaging to himself or to anyone else. All he's saying is stuff. It's like what
shit we all say.
Is it that Kanye West song? Like it's provocative. It gets people going. You could get a month of just content about this. That's what we need. Like that's
what he also said. He also said that he does.
Yeah,
which makes it insane that Rosa is trying to bury it.
Yeah,
that's what doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, this is literal gold. This is these 3 things that have been said. That those 3 clips are literally like the greatest things that have ever come out of a CrossFitter's mouth.
Yeah. They're really good.
That podcast should pay you money because they've never gotten more free advertising.
That's the thing as well. Sorry.
In that podcast.
Another couple of things about that. So there's actually what's the name of that fucking Telegram? Is it that app? It's like Discord kind of. So someone posted my video in a Russian like board. Someone sent me a screenshot of like it was like all Russian writing, and then just in the middle you could just see Coffee Pods and WODs right in the middle of it. Like, I was like, I've made it. So someone put the video in, and all the comments are like laughing at it. Like there's no anger, there's no like fuck's sake, they're misrepresenting him. Like nothing. It's all the emojis are all just like fire emojis, or it's just like all positive. Not one criticism the whole way through. So however many Russian-speaking people read that, plus the guy in the comments, plus 2 other people that were messaging me, plus the person that sent me the original thing. But Rosa apparently speaks some other version of Russian that only her and Roman speak and understand. And it's like some secret language that they made up when they were kids or something. Like fucking nonsense. But I'm not angry about it.
I did think that was interesting during that interview, because he was like, he started out saying like, I just kind of let everybody know on Telegram that
Yeah.
I'm doing this show. Hopefully people start.
It's obviously like a big
tuning in.
app there. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll skip the brute one, but we'll go into
The Lazar one.
Because he's like a very enduring guy. I mean, it's very hard to win the workout against him. With Lazar, it's either he wins or you crush him. He beats himself. It's not really hard. With Ricky, he'll sometimes latch onto you or go with you neck and neck, and it's very difficult in that respect. I don't like to compete with him, but with the others, I'm like, whatever. I don't like going up against Ricky because he's like a very enduring guy.
That's it.
I mean, it's very hard to win the workout against.
The thing is, so we've all been in that scenario. I actually think maybe like our thread is probably less. We're probably a very genuine group, but we've all been in that scenario at some point where you say something. You send a message you send a text to the person that the text is about, and you're like, your world like sinks, where you're like, oh fuck. That's what's happened here, is that he spoke to someone thinking, I can say whatever I want here because this will never see the light of day in the circles that matter to me. Yeah. As in, like, no like Savan's ever going to see this. Spin, like chalk up. Not like none of that is ever going to see this, so I never need to worry about it. And we saw it. And instead of leaning in and just being like, welp, they decided to go along a totally different route. Like Roman, I messaged Roman and he saw the message. I messaged him twice and he saw both messages and never replied. And I messaged his coach. And I was like because like I kind of chat to Facundo semi-regularly. I like him. And I said, hey, if you're talking to Roman, can you just let him know that like I'm not doing this to one up him or something, or to get to like I'm
disparage
not
him
like
or something.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fuck him over. Like
not a vendetta against him.
Yeah, I was like, I'm generally good natured. Like that's not what I'm doing. And he was just like, yeah, of course I'll talk to him. But like I don't really know much of what's happening apart from the fact that I've heard there's a lot of face palming happening in Mayhem the last like 48 hours. A lot of like,
which the geek clip is probably the biggest.
Yeah, Hiller's one is the worst. That's the one that I said because I was chatting to Hiller about it and I was like, man, I'm not going to post that, so you can have it if you want it. It's too like, I felt that I don't know. I thought the Gee thing was just,
that was not trash talk.
Yeah, that was just kind of like a kick in the dick.
Gee sucks now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he talks shit about America in the Brute clip, and I liked it.
We talk shit about
like,
Russia. Well, we just mocked him for using Telegram.
Like, yeah, for anything like Rose has got to say about like this Russian hate thing, it's like, well, he judged us in that, and I thought it was great. I loved that he judged America in that. Like, if
Captain's judging America by us talking about Australia.
Yeah, like I just don't see that as a bad thing. Like, he threw shit at Brute and he threw shit at America, and it's like, dude, play that. Like, don't even play it. Just say what you want, because it's great content. It creates this aura around you. This is just so marketable in so many ways, and it's like the fact that she's fighting it makes it worse. I don't know. It just, the whole thing baffles me.
See, this has brought up an interesting point for me. If you see Mel's comment, when Adler was goading, I think she means goading him, he was big mad. Was he though? Was he big mad?
We don't know.
Or was Rosa telling us that he was big mad?
CrossFit owes it to us to hire a Russian English translator, and he uses CrossFit's translator.
Well, over the Christmas, I'm going to use that app. I'm going to get clips of Roman talking after the games, because it's the easiest way to know. It just solidifies, like, is this genuine, or is this something that we actually should be thinking, like, fuck, we haven't actually heard anything that he said it accurately. Yeah. It's been changed forever. And I'm going to go through all the games interviews, not the one that with Nikki, because fuck that, but like any interview that he's done.
Oh man.
I'm gonna
came out of
find.
nowhere. I wasn't ready for that.
I just had a sudden thought of watching that much, but like I'm gonna get some interviews with Joel or whoever afterwards, where he's like talking about what he did, like questions about the workouts and stuff. And I'm gonna get some clips of him on Savan. I'm not gonna do the whole thing because it's like $2 per minute or something.
And
So I'm
the
just gonna get,
Savannah
like,
interview is probably like a big one.
yeah, I'm just gonna get some clips. Now the girl who sent me the initial clip was like, to the best of my memory, the Savan thing was fairly accurate, was what she said. But I've since spoken to 2 games athletes and 2 Russian speakers. And the 2 Russian speakers were like, she never accurately translates what he says. And the 2 games athletes said that they have either 1 or 2 degrees of separation from a Russian speaker and have been told that while watching the games, Roman would say something and Rosa would say something, and the person watching it would go, that's not what he said. And I've also heard from a coach in the CrossFit space, through like 1 or 2 people. I've heard that a coach in the CrossFit space has said, "Oh yeah, that's commonly known that like it's not going to be an accurate translation."
That's crazy.
So I don't know.
Which is BS.
All of this is just hypothetical conjecture until I prove it. So I'm not actually accusing of anything. So I don't want some fucking lawsuit. But like, I intend to find out over the next, like when I don't have to work, I intend to find out. And if I'm wrong, I will put up a story saying, "Hey, I thought this is the case, but it's actually 100% accurate. So I was wrong." But the thing I put up was wrong. So she should fucking do the same thing and come back, saunter back into the comments and say, "Sorry, I was actually wrong there on all my fucking comments that I made on this." Funny how quickly she typed 18 comments and now she can't find the time in her day to just type 1 saying like, "Hey, actually, sorry, I was wrong."
Yeah,
Maybe
she didn't say that. He didn't say Medeiros. He's a great athlete. He did amazing in 21 and 22. Like,
maybe Adler was just trying to get a good translation, and he was just trying to learn Russian so he can translate for himself.
it could be. Elise Carvadao. She's not trying to translate. She's trying to interpret. There's a difference.
Her job title is translator, not interpreter.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not
Either way,
it's
doesn't
not
matter.
to frame the words and say it in a way that's marketable.
If someone is telling me what someone else said, I don't want the parentheses. I just want like here's what he said.
What he said, yeah.
Like if
Not
I'm
what
hearing a
he meant.
story, if I'm
What he
hearing a
said.
story about from Brian of like this way, Tyler and John having an argument, I want to hear what the argument was. I want to hear what Tyler said and what John said. I don't want to hear Brian's version of, now that stems back to when Tyler was a child, I think. I don't give a fuck. I just want to hear what was said in the 5 minutes and then I'll make my own mind up. Or I'll go, ooh, shit, that's juicy. One or the other.
Well, it's the whole reason we say, like, I'm paraphrasing, but
yeah,
is to give you a warning, like, hey, I'm interpreting this my own way. It could be,
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. For those who aren't aware, go to Coffee Pods and WODs on YouTube. You can click subscribe and join right here. That might help fund your.
Sorry, you can click subscribe as well.
This is not my official account. This is not my official account. So
oh yeah, I see sign in written at the top. Yeah. Okay, fair.
So
he unsubscribed so he can walk people through it.
Hey, listen,
So,
hey, Sevon showed my
join.
Instagram profile, and he was not following me.
I remember that.
And I was on the thing when he did it. It was pretty.
To be fair, he probably he's had to start so many different Instagram accounts that it's probably not worth his while catching up on things.
That's very true.
But yeah, go join Pedro's account. Maybe that could afford him a minute and a half of translation.
And it's his birthday today, right?
It is.
Yeah, now actually, yeah, I'm
go
35
follow him
now.
for his birthday.
Brian's actually going to be on the show on Friday at
I am.
3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a review of the year with Chase and Bill. Thanks. I'm going to go to bed now. It's like 1:20.
Happy birthday, dude.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. And I'll tell you one thing I'm really fucking proud of. And it might not seem like it, but I really kept a lid on it during that rant. Like, it might not seem like it from the outside, But some of the shit that I've said in the last 24 hours to my wife and to like some people that I've been texting, if I had said that out loud into a microphone, be game over.
I love how mad you get. I love getting your voice recordings sent to me where you're ranting. Those make my day. I get them in the morning sometimes, and he's just fucking going off, and I love those. Those are the greatest.
Oh, I feel they're all justified though. It's not like
yeah.
You know, I don't think I like randomly just do it. Thank you. I see the comments here. Thank you. All right. It's also my daughter's birthday. We share the same birthday. Barkley sent me a really nice message the other day, saying that he likes the show.
Like that.
She was born, and I actually just realized today that because you know the way when you get past a certain age, you forget what age you are, and you're like, I think I'm 34 now, so I'll be 30. But I actually realized she was born when I was 31, so all I have to do is add 31 years to whatever age she is, and then I'll just be fine. Kind of annoying that it wasn't 30. That would be quicker maths, but you know, you can't have it all. All right, thanks, fellas. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Have a good one.
Sorry if I cut over people when they were talking there, but I was just kind of annoyed. But thanks.
No, thanks for guiding us through this.
Yeah, all the best. Enjoy your tickets before rules, blind rankings, and comp playbook.
Yep. All right, thanks, Pedro.
Cheers, guys. Bye bye.
Have
Later.
Well, there you have it.
I think the one who made out the best on this was Ricky. If I'm Ricky, I automatically think I have a mental edge on Roman.
Right.
Like
I'm
anytime we're against each other, I'm like, I'd be like, I ain't going nowhere, big dog. Like mid ski, I'd look over at him and just say, man, I feel great. How do you feel? Like just
I'm gonna hang with it. You know I am. I know you know it. I'm not leaving. And Kotler said that on Death by Today too. He's like, man, he was hitting on everybody except for Ricky. He knows.
And honestly, that makes me feel more solid, like very selfishly thinking here. That makes me feel more solid about my 2024 predictions because I was very Roman and Ricky are 1 and 2. And like he reinforces that for me. That's very nice.
Next topic. Tickets before rules. So yesterday I shared a little Instagram clip. Adrian Bosman said that the rule book would be out early December. It is now December 20th. We still do not have a rule book. But for the first time ever, tickets for the CrossFit Games will be available in January. So beginning January 16th, Madison Club members will get the opportunity to re-up to the Reliance Club, the newly named Madison Club. And then on, where is it? Thursday, January 23rd, the actual arena ticket sales for those who are Reliant Club members will get to start buying tickets. Affiliates will get it on Thursday, January 25th. And then finally, if there are any left, Monday, January 29th, tickets go on sale to the general public. Why so early? This is an entire month before the start of the Open, and we're selling tickets.
That's a great point. Yeah.
What?
Maybe just to get the word out there that they're not in Madison anymore. Like, I get that people should know that, but you know, just to hammer that it's in Fort Worth, Texas.
That can't be it.
What can it be? I'm trying to think of things.
There's a few tactics, I think, here. Generally people don't buy tickets to the last minute for anything. Unless it's like a basketball game or something where you know they're going to sell out. Yeah.
Did you see the Panthers tickets?
Sell out. Yeah, I heard that
the Carolina Panthers, their tickets were 50 cents. 50 cents, Carolina Panthers. I mean, it was like nosebleed seats, but 50 cents. And you could go to the Panthers game.
Did they sell out?
This is why they lost the Hornets.
No. There were less people there than in Dubai. It was pretty crazy. Like if you go watch the clips, it's pretty sad. That's insane, right? That's a professional football team. Well, I mean, they're trying to be, but
the real thing that I could see here is that they are going to announce something that we are not aware of or prepared for. So it's like you put them out early so that
You
when
think like
there's a
a
rush.
different place, like there'll be a bit tickets.
No,
to get
not
at
a different place. Just a feature. Like I couldn't even imagine, but we would not be prepared for what it is. And I think it's highly unlikely, but that's the only thing that I can see that makes sense. The other thing is that I don't understand is, do you have more ticket sales if you put them out longer when you know you're not going to sell out?
I would imagine you would always have more ticket sales if you put them out.
I think that people in the comments have it right.
What is it?
It's money.
So they need the cash now.
It pulls it forward.
So they just raised affiliate costs and they need cash now for the games.
I mean, they didn't get any of that money up front though. Like that's gonna trickle out over the next year for anybody who has to renew their affiliate agreement.
But if you get $1 million of cash in January, that's better than getting $1 million of cash in May.
Is it?
100%. You don't have to draw on a line of credit. You get interest on it. Like you can do things with that cash.
One in the hand is worth two in the bush, John.
I don't know what that means, but all right.
It means money in the hand is better than money without not being in the hand. So the question is ignorance. Like they thought that the tickets were going to sell out quickly so they could get cash now. Like, because if you're not making over $250,000 on that play, that seems very ignorant to me.
I mean, I don't. If it's not for that, I see zero reason. Like, you're literally just going to buy a ticket for the CrossFit Games to go to the CrossFit Games. You're not going because somebody's going to be there, right? It limits you on all of these teams, particularly, right? Like the last 10 teams in aren't going to buy a ticket to the CrossFit Games unless they qualify. So you're doing a disservice to all of them. From what I can see, I know that athletes get tickets. They probably get a handful for their family, etc. But if I'm in Africa, if I'm in Australia, I'm not buying a ticket to the games unless I know I qualified. And now you're making me buy a ticket in January if I want a premium seat and not in the nosebleeds when a second tranche is sold like they are now
at no discount.
At no discount,
because a discount would make sense. Like, hey, buy them this far out and you get 20% off or something like that.
Yeah, they're not too much more. I think it was like $650 for the best seats versus I think it may have been $500, $550 in Madison,
$550 or something.
So it is higher, but it's not absurdly high. I saw a comment here, Alyssa. Will there be any general admission type tickets or just Coliseum? So that is a change. So there is just the Coliseum. So it's just the arena ticket. It gets you access for all 4 days. But in the Coliseum next to Dickey's Arena, the Will Rogers Memorial Coliseum, they will have 200,000 square feet of space for vendor village, for all the major sponsors, for all of the activations, the like workout seminars, all that stuff. All of that is free this year in 24. So anybody can go, anybody can spend the time outside. They'll have a big live viewing area, like a big Jumbotron to watch.
Oh, I bet we have a lot more vendors then.
Yeah, because it'll be free. So you don't have to pay whatever, $100 to get into it. You just can go at any time. So
I
that
can
is
set up a JY Barbell sign up tent.
I'm still sure they're going to charge you for it, but if you want, you can. That's also a good point. LDY 2742. The new Reliant Club is now only $500, not $1,000.
Oh wow!
But it doesn't look like you get free food, and you only get 2 drink tickets. I believe in prior years it was unlimited beer and like maybe wine or something and free food. So it looks like they've cut back on that, but they've also cut back on the price.
So it probably evens out.
No, Travis. CrossFit will never have a free booth. Sorry, bud. And as for rulebook, I don't know. No rulebook. Ever. We're running out of
We
time.
will do a show when it comes out. We promise you.
Is it not?
Yeah.
Is it not still early December? Feels pretty early to me.
Early depends on your definition. Just a little different than mine.
Soon.
It's not the 31st.
Soon.
It's earlier than the 31st.
We'll get it
My-
soon.
My guess is they don't have the age group and adaptive stuff nailed down as to how that's all going to work, where it is, what the venue is, the weeks, etc. And so they're waiting.
I'm curious if that's a part of Tyler's competition playbook. I thought we were calling it the competition commandments. I like that a lot.
it wouldn't fit. So
Oh,
They're more of guidelines, really.
okay.
he's backing off. He's
Like,
backing off on
let's-
this now. Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, what do you think about the rule books? Like that's the only thing holding it up is that stuff?
Unless
'cause
there's
everything else
something,
is-
unless there's something big that we just don't know about. But I feel like they gave us a pretty good outline of what the season would be. I don't know why they need to wait to put anything in unless it's a major change or it has something to do with the locations and dates for the actual other competitions. All right. This one is going to be interesting. Blind rankings.
All right, this is going to be fun, guys. You can probably play along with us, but
So we got a new one.
Have to say so.
This segment, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this thing.
It's nonsense.
We are going to go through a topic, and it is we're going to take a look at the 5 athletes. We're going to rank 5 athletes who have the most off-season momentum heading into the 2024 CrossFit Games season. So I'm going to pull up a name. John and Tyler are going to rank it, but they don't know
The
next
people.
4 athletes.
We don't know
who
the
are gonna be
people.
ranked. So
So
you got to make a decision,
Could be anybody.
right? So I'm going to pull out a
and
first
it's
name.
off-season momentum. It's not like who's fitter than who, just who has the most off-season momentum going into 2024. So
Yep.
it's not like a fitness ranking,
Right.
right?
All right. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Garrard.
All right. Well, seeing as he did not do 2023, I think and Roman just basically crowned him as the fittest guy in the world. That's not Roman. I think he's got a lot, man. Here's the thing. Who do you think has more?
I'm going for 2. I think there's one person
who?
who has more.
Think about it. Who?
I'm not telling you who. I'm saying
This isn't me
Ricky's
versus
2.
you. We're working together.
Yeah, you guys have to compromise. You have to agree.
Yeah,
Where-
that's what I'm
where-
saying.
Oh,
like,
John hasn't set a number yet.
are women and men together on this?
It is men and women together.
Okay.
I think 2. Ricky's had a great season
I
so
almost
far.
think like 3 then, because like Tia would be 1, right? She got second at Rogue 5 months after having a baby.
I don't know. To me, like hers doesn't count as momentum. Rather, I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
momentum is just a
momentum, man.
continuation of you
Then
know. of
Alex
energy
Kazan
forward.
has like a ton of momentum going into 2024. Emma Lawson. Like if it's
But
men
he's
and
a-
women together, I think we go 3.
To me, momentum
'Cause he didn't
implies
do
that you were
anything.
standing still.
But what's he done?
Ricky?
Yeah, he got second. He got second in Dubai, barely.
Yeah.
He's supposed to. And then at Rogue, what did he get? 5th. You see
Okay,
what I'm
fine.
saying?
I'll compromise. I'll say
Let's-
3 then.
let's
If-
go
If
Ricky
you want to go
3.
3, I'll go 3.
Let's go Ricky 3.
All right.
Now, hey, hold on. No, we'll go Ricky 3. But are these got people with like reverse momentum too? It's not just
This is
No.
the highest ranked momentum.
okay. But I'm
So-
saying
Talking
like
about
we
acceleration.
Number
should
one
have
is
very
number one
poor
is most
momentum as well.
Number 5 is the least momentum.
Okay.
Positive momentum.
Karen
Karen.
Freyova.
4.
Oh, dude, no momentum.
4. She did well.
She just
In
won
Dubai.
Dubai.
She's supposed to win. She was supposed to. That's not momentum. She's supposed to win Dubai. She was the best one there. That's not momentum. If Matt Fraser wins Rogue, I don't think he's going to be better now than he already was. He was supposed to.
Well, I said 4. We'll dock her down to 5 then. All right, send her on.
I'm just. Unless there's somebody with reverse momentum, can we think of somebody with like really bad momentum going into 2024?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Haley.
Well, I was thinking something. Well, yeah, I think Haley didn't do 2023.
I know.
You
She's
see what I'm saying?
Full
she's got more momentum than she had in 2023. I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna say 4 because somebody will have like
4.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think through it. You're like, I want to make a decision right now. Think through it. And think about other people.
You never think through your picks. What are you talking about?
No, you think about what I'm saying is think about other people. Who would be below or above?
I'm thinking about everybody.
You're just thinking of a
They're
number.
all up here, dude.
LDY 2742 momentum 1. Is that Lil Aussie dude's Peter Ellis?
Yeah, Peter Ellis has a lot of momentum. Austin Hatfield, the most momentum.
Mama Deer.
Just roll. Mama Deer.
All right. Jackie Dahlstrom.
5.
5.
Sorry,
I feel like she has negative momentum.
That's how I feel too.
I hate it because I like her as a competitor, but I think she is.
I don't know if I will ever forgive Lane 8. I really just don't know. Like it's just always going to be a bad taste in my mouth forever.
John Christian, if you listen to this, I like Jacqueline. It's just I'm not feeling good about her competitively.
All right.
That's worse. I think he would.
Roman.
2. Because I just I'm going to say 2.
Hey, I'm going 1 because he's got mouth momentum now.
No,
he's running that mouth.
I think we have to go 2 here. Go 2 here.
We're going to go 2, but I want to go. I want the record to show I said 1.
All right. And watch now. Hey, well, hold on. Before you do this, watch the next name be like somebody terrible. Hatfield. Taylor Self. You know what I mean? Somebody like that doesn't.
How confident are you guys that you got this right?
It depends on this last name. Right now, 2 through 5, I feel like we're great, but then this last name we might butcher like a lot.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, hold on. No. We could save this.
No, we can't.
If he goes team, he's probably in the running to win the games.
That's deceleration to me. If you go teams, you're full on reverse.
Yeah, I feel like we butchered it pretty hard. Yeah, I feel really bad about it now. I felt so great. Now I feel really bad about it. Okay, so
should have put Roman at 1.
We should have put Roman at 1. We should have put Ricky at 2. Chandler probably. What is he? He's kind of. I don't know what 4. He is.
Chandler is 4.
Karen 3.
Chandler 4? You're probably right. You're probably right.
We really didn't do that bad. Chandler.
No, our 2 through 5 is great. Chandler just is a terrible, terrible one. But like that, this is called blind rankings for a reason.
Sabotage.
Like this, we are blind. We have no idea who's coming next. That's why it's fun.
That's right.
Listen, if this was Austin Hatfield, this would have been a perfect list. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, we did well.
Yeah, this was. Yeah, I'm excited to do this with different categories. We should have like 2 or 3 different categories we do this with if we're going like in the next episode.
Yeah. All right. Last one, Tyler.
Yeah.
The
comp playbook or the comp commandments, as John wants to tell them. So I became very pessimistic the week after Dubai and the Fit Fest. I think it was a fail across the sport and the community as a whole. And then I would even
Jesus.
It was not a good look when you're considering growth of the sport, how we're viewed as a brand, and all of that. I think it was brand diminishing, as it's been said. And so, I mean, do you guys disagree?
I don't disagree. It was just really funny the way you were talking about it. Possibly the worst competition there ever has been ever.
I
Like-
never said they were the worst competition. I just think they were brand diminishing or dimensioning, depending on who you're asked. And so to me, I'm like, yeah, I'm just really sour about that. So anyway, to me, you know, I kind of think that maybe competitions are getting a little bigger than their britches and that we need to reel it back and kind of go back to fundamentals a little bit. And so that's when I started talking with the guys, like we should do a competition, commandments or playbook or something like that. So that was sort of the idea and the spirit behind it. You know,
the
I
rule
kind of
book
wanted
to follow for any competition that wants to go on.
Especially like right now. Because the heart, like, so I went back and I started with that YouTube or Google term search, and I looked at CrossFit and where it is now versus where it's been in the past. And we're like at 2011 stage, maybe even farther back, 2010. And it's like, okay, if you put our competitions at the same level of the Google search, like we're overdoing these competitions in the production. And I think there are easier, cheaper, and better looking ways to do it than we're currently doing it. And so we can just go back, you know, bullet point by bullet point and say, like, hey, this is where we probably need to be in the sport right now. If you're a competition and you want to do something. So
Before we get into that, Tyler, from Sarah, what was so diminishing? CrossFit not advertising those events? Like what? What is it?
I don't think
it's not diminishing CrossFit. It's the Fit Fest competition it by itself. It's not like CrossFit headquarters.
No, not HQ. It is the brand and the idea of CrossFit as a sport. So I think Fit Fest is a great idea. I think it was cool, but guess what? We didn't see any of it.
That's Fit
we had
Fest's
no
fault,
idea
though.
Yeah, that's Fit Fest's fault. But more, I'm more focused on Dubai. I'm more focused on Dubai and really Rogue. If I want to be honest, Dubai had nobody in the stands. They had this major production. There was several lacking qualities of the production itself. And so if I'm someone who's watching Dubai and I've never seen CrossFit before, I'm like, why is there nobody in the stands? Even with Rogue, there was no one in the stands. You know, half of that was due to weather, but still there wasn't many people in the stands. So why do I don't want to watch a sport that nobody's watching. And so I think we need to reel it back in a step. So that's why I think it was brand diminishing.
I want to go back one step. Maddie, hello. She won down under. So the intent of blind rankings is not the top 5. It is to rank the 5 that you have available.
And we don't know who they are. We're trying to pick the best order without knowing the people. That's why it's fun,
And
because
Spin wants to screw us up.
we can utterly botch it terribly.
We're playing
like we did.
The administrator.
Taylor Smith clearly does not have the most momentum going into 2024. But that's there
are definitely people that have more momentum going into it, but it's a challenge for Tyler and John to think through who could be included, who could not.
And we're going to do this for a lot of different categories. Not like this was just a category
I got some good ones. I got some good ones in the hopper.
We could do coaches what else did you throw out there that one?
I threw out CrossFit Games uniforms.
Or I mean games events, top fittest people. Like you could literally do any category you want to do.
Best ice cream for recovery. I think that one's probably one we should do.
You're getting
one of the ones. That was the ones Tyler came up with. But all right, so let's hear it. Let's hear rule number 1.
All right, Tyler.
Let's start with live stream. What should the commandment look like for the live stream? Should you have it? Should you not have it? What does that look like?
Do we want to talk about size of the competition too? Like how big does the competition should be before you should have a live stream?
Mm-hmm. My brain goes to using like the worldwide rankings or even like quarterfinals rankings to determine like, hey, are there enough people within this range that this deems necessary to broadcast? So for instance, like Crash, I thought Crash was good. Like the broadcast that we gave for the athletes that were at Crash was perfect. Agreed or disagreed?
I would agree. I would say that I would say anything that has semifinals people at it, multiple, with thousands of dollars for the winner at the end of the line, probably is big enough that you should have a live stream. If some maybe not pay for it, but like Crash or TFX, right? If some rinky-dink YouTube people want to live stream it, then you should let them. Like, it's not.
Yeah, TFX doesn't do a live stream, do they?
No, they don't.
No,
No,
they don't.
but I'm saying, like, if somebody wanted to, then
You
the
could now.
organizers should absolutely let them, because you have semifinals level people at your competition, right? So I would argue that's the amount that the big of a competition that could have a live stream. And then Crash, TFX, what's another one? Is there any others around that size? Surely there is.
Beach Brawl.
Beach Brawl
has enough.
And those are your YouTube stream competitions, right? Like
NorCal.
Sure. Yeah, NorCal with Hiller was streaming that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, Brian's doing all the ones in Europe that are like that, right?
There's plenty in Europe to have
those are your live stream from somebody's
Yeah.
phone or camera, YouTubing, and people like us, if we care about it, we'll cover it.
And that's
then
the thing. Like, we want to watch those, but we're not expecting this big production.
You're
And
not
I
going
think
to
it
have a
almost
score
becomes-
ticker at the side where it's going to be me saying, I think Mertens is killing it.
We're going to talk about
Yeah.
we're going to talk about seat height on a bike while they're going
Yes.
at it,
Yes.
Right.
which is better commentary than most of the
Kind
time.
of like the Manning cast. We're the Manning cast
That's right.
for those type
But
of
it's-
competitions.
To me, those add more hype than even the big production, like the heavy cost production things that we see right now. Like, I think we would have gotten more out of that than what we got out of Dubai. Like, agreed or disagreed? I didn't get much out of that broadcast.
I think if Dubai needs a score ticker, then I think it would have been much better. I think I thought the Dubai live stream was fine. I don't understand why they don't stream the first day. That bothers me so badly. But like, their actual stream, I thought was fine. They're spending enough money, or they're big budgeted enough. You should look like the games as far as showing who's in the lead and who's not in the lead, and having a score ticker on everybody. I don't think you should have that, right? Wadapalooza has that sometimes. Like, you should have that.
The live stream then, because you're talking about location, right? And the main problem with Dubai visually was that you saw that no fans were there, and that probably had to do with a lot with the location, right?
I can't help the fans.
expecting, right? But if you're expecting there's not going to be a lot of fans, for instance, I thought it was really cool when Rogue used to do the Invitational at Rogue, right? That visually looked really cool. There were enough fans that they can make it look packed. It wasn't super packed, but they made it visually look that way, that there was interest. And that's not like
Columbus
that.
is a big city. Like, it's kind of a very just nice place altogether. There's a lot to do, and people don't talk about Columbus. Like, you don't think about that as a city, but like, there's a lot to do in Columbus.
This is John's pitch for Ohio. Go ahead.
Y'all don't think Columbus, Ohio is a great city?
It's fine, John. It's fine.
They have a great mall. I went to the mall.
opinion.
It was a blast. I'm a big mall guy. I like walking around, looking at people.
What were you going to say, Spin?
Going back to,
I'm sorry.
Next week
the
on
live stream.
the Spin, we're going to blind rank cities, and John's going to put Columbus at first.
He's gonna
Damn it.
rank the malls within each city.
Oh man.
All right, so we need a live stream to some extent. I think there's definitely now outlets out there that can do free type live streams on a platform that give you good enough type of
Quality
viewing
of views.
experience. That's not
Yeah.
CrossFit Games Rogue experience. I think Dubai, the actual stream itself is good. I think a lot of what goes against Dubai is Saud and those organizers keep things so tight-lipped until the very last second that even Brian and Derek
Prepping
on the
for it.
broadcast
Yeah.
don't even know what's going on.
And it's not their fault half the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. What about, like, there's a lot of talk about off-season competitions, how that plays into the season. Should there be a, say the Triple Crown, whatever, like getting athletes to compete more? Should there be a limit on the number of days or the number of events in a competition of a top tier event?
Yeah. So, I mean, like at that point, to me, I think it again depends on the caliber of athletes that are there.
He said
Because
top
if you
tiers,
wanna
like
sign
Rogue,
up-
Wadapalooza, Dubai.
Right. If you want to sign up for
Down
some
under,
jackass competition that's got 20 events, go ahead. But I mean, no one's going to do it. To me,
But
yeah.
are we getting to eight or 10 events? Is that getting to be too much for a non-pinnacle competition?
Yeah, I think over 10 is definitely overkill. Depending on, like, we're gonna assume the programming is looks usually how it looks, not a bunch of mini events.
That's true.
But I mean, like, what would you cap it at? I mean, I think 8's fine.
Semifinals is really 6 events.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can do
short
7,
though.
But if we're going to use semifinals as a method to qualify the top 40 to the games, do we need to have more events at these competitions just for the sake of having more events?
I think if you have a top tier competition, it's better than semifinals athletes. For instance, Rogue is the games.
But it's all intents and purposes, it's an exhibition. I know there's lots of money at stake, but would we have a different outcome if they took
If there's $250,000 on the line, I think they can have any amount of events you want, and then the people can sign up and do it if they want. It's $250,000,
and that's why I'm saying rules of thumb. Like, I don't think you should go over 10 events, and I do think over 8 is probably. They did 10 2 years ago.
Rogue?
How many?
Yeah.
That's not over 10.
No, but it's like everyone who left that competition was like, what the hell?
Was destroyed.
Like, we weren't expecting that.
Expect it.
See,
but that's the thing that
I don't. So here's what I think. You as an event organizer need to be It's your responsibility to tell the athletes this is what you're coming to. So, like, they should not be unexpected of volume. Like, oh, that was way more volume than I thought it was. Oh, that was way more squatting or deadlifting, and ruined people, right? People left Rogue with their hands shredded, right? So I think as an event organizer, it is your responsibility to let the athletes know what they're coming to. But I do not think there needs to be a cap for Rogue. Thank you, Barkley. Like 8, 7, 7, 10, 9, I think is fine. I don't think that's too much volume. It is the games for all intents and purposes. It's bigger than semifinals. It's bigger than Wadapalooza. It's bigger than Dubai. And it's almost bigger than the games now. It's not, but it's the money wise, it's almost.
But you're thinking about it and how the season is today, right? We only see Laura Horvath, the games, Rogue, and probably team at Wadapalooza, right? Like, Medeiros is taking break off because he doesn't, he went and did his powerlifting competition, but he's not competing because it's a huge mental drain. Gearing yourself up for Rogue is a big deal. Flying out to Dubai for that high level of a competition is a big deal. Would we be in a better place if it was limited to 6 events, that you could have 7 scored events because it's a 2-parter or something like that, but something where they don't feel as beat up? They feel better doing a 6 competition.
Here's my argument.
Just impose that rule. What happens?
I think that's a part of winning the competition, though, is who can survive the beatdown. Do you get where I'm going with this, Tyler?
We understand that, but that's not the point. So imagine
you're saying they will perform more often if they're not beat down.
Jesus,
I think there's a potential to change the structure of the season where we have more competitions where more athletes, top tier athletes, are willing to compete because it doesn't interfere with their training as much. They can go make some money, and
I don't think there'll be money
they
to
don't
be
get as
made.
beat up. What?
I don't think there'll be money to be made.
I mean, Wadapalooza only does what, like 8 events? Like they don't do a stupid amount of
It's-
events.
let's
Like,
only
Well,
2
they got
days.
their
It's
they
probably
have their
like
team
7
they have their
now.
team competition now.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Like Indy Plus team, the way they did it last year. Like I mean it.
Yeah, but you don't have
You
to.
know.
If you just wanted to go individual,
I know, but
Yeah.
a lot of them are right.
That's what Spin's getting at is if we cap it at 7, what kind of ecosystem does that create
could
versus
it be
what we
down the
have
future?
now?
I just think it'll be the same ecosystem.
I
But
just,
you just said
if
it
you don't
wouldn't.
change it, I don't think you ever make that. I don't think you ever can switch it. If you're going to have these beat downs of 10 or 11 events or 8 or 9 events every single month, you're not going to go do a couple of them. Like Ricky's crazy, right? I mean, Chandler, you saw he got beat down going back to back from down under to Dubai. Like, it's not feasible. But if we change that structure to limit it, be more strategic in your programming, can we get to a point where we could change the season structure, maybe make it where they, again, like we talked about, if you're top 5 in those off-season competitions, you go straight to semifinals.
Is this a ploy to further the Triple Crown
It's all a ploy.
A ploy?
idea?
I think it's
For like athletes would be more enticed to do that if each event was only 6 or 7 events. Like that's what you're
Yes.
saying. Like
Yes.
Rogue, Dubai, Wadapalooza. If
Yes.
they're all 6 or 7 events, then the Triple Crown can be more of like legitimate. It's a way to get to that point.
It's a bit easier way to get the top 20 athletes in the world or whatever, top
To
40
do every single
just
one.
go
to do 4 major events a year. And you could then have a second tier where
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
no, I agree with that. I agree with that. I just think my problem with that is just is with Rogue.
You like?
I
yeah,
agree with
'cause
what
you
you're
like
saying.
the
I agree
game
with what you're saying. I do.
Yes.
And like the way it just got explained to me, I agree with it. I'm with it. But Parker makes a good comment here. Like this one's worth this one and that one is worth that one. And if you're going to give that much money to somebody, it needs to be a spectacle and not just one of the 3. You know what I mean?
I don't agree with that.
I do. I think if you pay that much money, then you should see them more.
There's a bigger prize purse for the US Open than there is for the Shell Open in Houston. They still play 72 holes of golf.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. To me, it's correlated.
It's a bigger deal
there.
because it's the best athletes in the world. The field is tougher. There's more limelight on in it. Like,
then why not make the game 7 events?
I think it's okay to have one. We're not golf.
It's
but what I'm saying is
the fittest on earth, John.
Why?
I think
Yeah, but you're going to argue the U.S. Open versus Shell. Yeah, I'm just saying the way you're going to explain that, like
I think
destroys your analogy.
No, I think that the CrossFit Games is a different animal than everything else.
And I think Rogue is a different animal than everything else, as well as the games.
I'm going to disagree.
I don't think it matters.
I agree with the premise of what you're saying, though. If 7 events would more likely entice all of the athletes to do all 4 of the big things, it would be a more fun season. It would be much more awesome to watch everybody and not we got Roman, Ricky, and Lazar, and that's who we're watching, and it's everybody else that doesn't matter after that.
When
right?
I was going through the off-season momentum and trying to pick people to choose, I picked people that had competed in 2 events this off-season, a minimum 2. You go through the women's list. I had Karen Fariova, Jackie Dahlstrom, Emily Rolfe.
Well, Wadapalooza hadn't started yet.
I get it, but we're a month away from that. We're pretty much done with the off season. Like the guys have done more, but like the top women haven't really done that much.
Have they ever though? I mean,
That's
it was
my
like
point.
it was like
That's
this
my
with
point.
Wadapalooza. Well, why would it affect women and not men?
It's a lot of
Because
the
men are more
men in
stupid?
Europe. The men in Europe, Lazar, Ricky wants to get back. Roman's kind of crazy. But Adler's not doing it. Pat's going
Adler's never done it.
right. Like,
But we want him to.
but we want them to.
Right.
We want to
No,
see them
yeah.
more than once a year. Like
Yeah.
Medeiros last year, skipping all the off season, then he comes back to the games. Like, it's not, the sport's not going to grow enough if you only see him at semifinals and the games. And I get, like, yes, you could get Rogue and most are going to go back to Rogue. That's still not enough. There's a lot of downtime. People forget about it. It's out of, it's not in the visible sight. It doesn't matter. You got to figure out a way to keep things going, keep some interest going. And that's my thought is limit the number of competitions. Don't beat them up as much and still get to that.
You know what you also do when you do that, though? Like, say that's successful and all of the athletes do all of them, right? Because it's less of a beatdown, right?
Yeah.
Then that leaves people like semifinals people that would get to do those competitions. They don't get to anymore because all the best people get to. And I get it. This is an argument.
I thought you didn't care about
never
the
make.
semifinals.
Yeah. I do know it's coming. I get 100%. I do feel that way. I would have more of a fun time watching these events with the real deal competitors and not people trying to break through. But you would never see those people, people trying to break through, if that was the case.
But then you start getting more competitions like Crash. You get the second tier, and
that's the part that I think you're gonna have a hard time doing.
No, I think there's going to be plenty of TFX, Crash. Like if Granite Games would ever come back, you got a second round of Wadapalooza, and like you have Down Under, you have Dubai, you have French Throwdown. Again, it's not about they have to go to every single one of those, but give them a situation where they can go to 3 off-season competitions.
So the Lazars spread it out. Of the world wouldn't do the French Throwdown.
They could if they want to. They could if they want to, right? And you're going to have the Lazars and Rickies who do everything. But if there's 6 or 7 that are close to the top tier, they're not rogues, they're not the games, but there are 10 athletes from the games that want to go, and it filled in the next 20 spots with semifinals athletes.
Yeah.
You have a very good competition there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An easy way to say y'all
are probably right. It's just, I guess I just like the spectacle of Rogue so much, and it's hard for me to get past that. But y'all are probably right.
You could bypass, you could leave Rogue out of the argument, because what's the point in programming over 7 events? Is you really want to start showing like true fitness more than just a competition. You want to show who has true fitness. And to me, like TFX has no business doing that.
No. They're not more than 5 events though.
No. But I'm saying anybody who's throwing a competition at that level, I would say even Wadapalooza at this point, like you don't have any business throwing over 8 events. Like, why would you?
I agree with 100%.
Yeah. And so it's like to set that bar at say 7, like makes it easy for athletes to know, okay, I'm not going to be beat the hell up, and I can go to all these events, and it makes the ecosystem much more easier to enter mentally.
And I think even with 6 or 7 events, you can skew to a competition to be the heavier one. Like Rogue could be the heavier one. You could have one that's more strongman, odd object based. You could have one like maybe Dubai, that's a little bit,
everything that
or more gymnastics based.
Like only be skewed more though.
That's fine.
Like it's already skewed a little bit. It would only get skewed more.
I'm okay with that. That would be
it doesn't matter.
That'd be exciting to see if Rogue is the strong one. Let's say French is the gymnastics one and Dubai is endurance.
French ain't on that level yet, man.
Let's just say it is. And somebody can go and win all 3 of those. That's more impressive than having 3 well-rounded, almost the exact same competition, just in a different location with a different rep scheme.
That's fair. That's fair. I kind of like that, quite honestly. Like
right?
they would dive into it even.
You know what you're getting into. Like, yeah, this is
Like you would yeah, this is the endurance.
You're going to
CrossFit
Dubai. You're going to do
competition.
some crazy long event to start it off. That's one of your 6. It's crazy long.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue's going to bring out some stupid strong man competition that you're going to be like, what the heck? Right? Like, cool. Like you can play
and then that would be
into
the
that.
Triple Crown because
Right.
Do you think you could get those event organizers to dive into that?
I think they would go into it naturally.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be hard to convince Katie and Bill to be like, "Hey, we want you to be the strongman CrossFit competition."
Well, they
lean into that even
they
more.
Kind of are,
no, they are. But I think it'd be hard for you to tell them to limit their number of events and stuff like that. Like tell them anything because it's their competition.
But that's the whole point of the conversation is at the moment there's no coordination, but we could have something greater overall.
I agree with you. I'm saying, I'm with you on that. It's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying, do you think you could get the event organizers to be with you?
I think you have to if we want to see the sport grow.
And that's
or
the
we
pitch.
can keep going
that was the pitch you would give them.
Yes.
Rogue can choose to do what it wants. I mean, we can't control them, but I think Bill and Katie are smart enough to see where this is headed.
I think they're doing a lot to try to pull the sport along. If others were on board and they said, look, we're all going to come on board.
And it would be like, don't do anything different than you've been doing. Just 7 events.
Just keep it at 7. Let's make it so we're not beating these up. We have, I mean, I guess the question I have is, does the PFAA have a role in this? Like, they're the ones that could help do this, maybe. I don't know.
They're not partners with everybody.
They can definitely have the conversation, but I don't think that they should. I think this idea should be pushed forward.
It should be pushed across,
spoken about, but it needs to be community led on its own. Like, there has to be somebody just talking about the idea.
Take charge of it.
Yeah, I would legitimize a Triple Crown thing for sure. Absolutely. If you could win all 3 and they leaned into their biases even more than they already did, I'm totally with that. I think it's such a big ask to ask so many people to work together. But I do think it would be amazing for the sport. I think it'd be awesome. I would love to talk about it.
Yeah. I think it'd just be exciting. I mean, instead, all we do is we complain about the workouts of Dubai, that they're not that great or the time caps are off. Instead of,
you got to get the Sal to agree. You got to get Bill and Katie to agree. You got to get Dylan to agree.
But if your competition is, if you got to play by the rules to be part of a CrossFit
Triple Crown
certified competition that's then plays into the season, where if they get points in the top number, get to go straight to semifinals.
Yeah. And if they don't agree, then you'd be like, okay, then we'll go with French Throwdown.
Right. And French Throwdown has it. And now people are going to that instead of Rogue.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm with you. All right. Tell it to them. Let's get it done.
Yep.
Who are you going to talk to do that?
I'll call Dave.
All right. Let's get it done.
I have his olive oil, so
maybe we can get it done before the rule book comes out. Maybe that's why they're waiting on the rule book. We finally figured out how to do this Triple Crown. And the rule book can finally.
They were waiting.
They were waiting on us. They were waiting on.
We got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
So it'll be out tomorrow if you.
And I was the main fight of it, so I apologize for making the rule book take so long.
Online qualifier, should there be one?
For.
I would be okay with if it were elite level competition, say there were 30 or let's say 30 spots each competition, which I know is the thing that we've talked about should talk about is field size. The last 5 to 10 should be devoted to a qualifier. That way you have the revenue stream. I don't want to cut that off for anybody. But if you don't I don't know, if you're going to have pros there and it's more of the field is going to be pros, limit your qualifier or just be able to invite people.
Yeah, I think the way Rogue does it, where they invite the top 15 games athletes and then the last 5 go to the qualifier. I think every single big competition should do it that way. Wodapalooza, Rogue, and Dubai, and But here's what I think though is if one of the people you invite say no, that goes to a qualifier spot. So not like you don't backfill. So like if 8 people say no, and you invited 20, and there's 10 more go to the qualifier, so 30 people told you're gonna have it, and 8 people say no. Now the qualifier has 18 spots. I think that's the best way.
I think there should be 0 online qualifiers.
Really?
And here's
Ryan,
why.
You
guys are
trying to break through.
You're
thinking too small.
You're thinking about what the current season structure is. Use the worldwide rankings. I don't like them as they are. I think I have a better solution. But
I already hate this.
Nope.
Just go with quarterfinals placement. Yeah, I agree.
No. You have the worldwide rankings. You can sign up for the competition. The top 30 that signed up for it by a deadline are in. You have enough competitions
for Rogue.
There's enough to go around. For Rogue, yeah.
So just the first 30 that sign up.
No.
The
you sign up by a deadline, you take the top 30 or top 20, whatever they want, whatever their field size is. But you have because we've now changed the number of events, there's more competitions, they're going to sign up for more.
It's reinforcing its own worldwide ranking.
That's part of the worldwide ranking. You then can go, you're going to go to 3 competitions. You don't want to go to every single, say the next 7 big ones. Let's say there's the CrossFit Games and 7 other second tier competitions. You only want to go to 3 of those. There's room to go and spread that out around. And if you're not good enough to make one of those, we probably don't want to watch you.
Okay, so what about competitions like Crash and the Fittest Experience and that level?
Handled the same way. I don't think JR is going to say no to anyone who's in the top 100 that signs up.
JR opened it up and Laura Horvath wanted to compete, but she didn't want to do the qualifier. Would he accept her? 100%. Would she? Probably not. But Colton Mertens, if you're going to get some level
that reinforces the worldwide ranking, but then how would people progress that are outside of the
and I will say this,
signing up in competition?
There's still the way you can, again, there's multiple tiers of competitions.
Right.
And so each one adds to points, but at a lower level. You start winning those, you get enough points to then compete into the next tier. You make it to the games, you get a lot of points. Now you're in the top tier.
It's a farm team system. Yeah.
Yes. But now it's not, now you're not doing online qualifier right after the games, try to make it the Rogue. You don't make that, oh crap, now I hope I can make it to the Down Under online qualifier or Wodapalooza's online qualifier. Like last year, Con Porter was trying to do like 3 online qualifiers in like 2 weeks or something crazy. And he got sick or something, and he ended up doing 2 of them. Like you can get into an endless cycle of online qualifiers. But if we think about changing the system, you can use the worldwide rankings could actually mean something. And then that would also then show how strong is your competition. Do all the top athletes want to go to Rogue? Yes. Do they want to go to TFX? No. And you can see that by the worldwide rankings of the athletes that are going to it.
I like it. I feel like there's several steps of implementation before we get to what you want, including the tier system and all that stuff. Like if we just rip the Band-Aid right now, I think what John and I are saying is more likely. But if we worked into it, yes, I think yours is a better design.
Chris Giles, you have to do the online qualifiers for money unless it comes from the open placings or worldwide rankings, which means CrossFit would have to share their money.
Yeah, where's the cash come from?
It's more expensive to compete.
So if we do this and I'm in the top,
you have more than just the elite competition.
But
It's
I'm
the
still
Wada-
paying to compete.
It's the Wadapalooza. Yeah, you still got to PGA Tour. You have to pay an entry fee of like $500 to compete. You still have an entry fee into the tournament, into the competition. You have multiple divisions, just like Wadapalooza or Granite Games used to. TFX. That's how you pay for it.
Do pros pay?
Yes. PGA Tour has to pay $500, I think it is, to enter a tournament. So if it was instead of $150 to enter, it's $250. You're already paying $20 for a qualifier, right?
I don't really have a problem with that. I mean,
Yeah,
I always
I don't
thought
really have a
like
problem with it either.
150 was a little cheap, honestly. Like I think TFX is around that much, and it's
I
like
mean,
I always thought
High
that was
Rocks is
kinda cheap.
125, I think it is, to compete, and you go run around in a circle for an hour and a half.
I mean, I would pay 300 to go to TFX. I would pay 300. People are going to kill me for saying this, but I would pay 300. I already have to fly to Austin. I already have to get a hotel. Like it's already expensive anyway. What's
You're
150
doing
more bucks?
You're doing 3 days of competition. You're doing, and these still higher level competitions, six events, 7 events. Like the amount of dedication, effort that the organizers are doing is way more than High Rocks. Like you go watch a High Rocks race that's not elite. It's just people running around in circles and a judge standing there in a lane waiting for you. And you get lost, you go the wrong direction, you go out of order. Like it's a mess. And you pay $125 for
I didn't
it.
know that.
It is a mess. And like they just have corrals every 15 minutes. They just send more people through. It's crazy.
Cattle show, huh?
I got to wrap it up.
Yep.
If you have any
Only-
comments to our comp playbook, our comp commandments, throw it in the comment section below. We will read them next week, and maybe we'll pick it up if there's enough good ones out there. But John, you all right?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to find myself on the worldwide ranking.
Keep on going.
Somebody clip that before he says worldwide ranking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, guys. See you next week.
I was just
Later.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry
Sorry.
Christmas.
Yes.